DC Types here. I go to a lot of estate sales. I check out a lot of estate sales. And this morning, I definitely found the estate sale of a serial killer in Ohio. Here are some of the highlights of that. Let's start from some of the less creepy, more innocuous-seeming items that, taken together, create a cumulative picture of someone obsessed with the macabre and death well beyond your normal gothic disposition. So this is Yank magazine, which... let's hope that means Yankee. This is a World War II magazine that features images of mayhem, murder, death, and the general destruction on the battlefield. Ugh. Here is a Korean War-era pilot helmet that is clearly been damaged in a crash. Here's a skeleton specimen, and you're probably like, that's not so weird. Lots of people have skeletons, right? Except what most people don't realize is that older specimens, medical specimens, particularly those predating the 1960s, they're real. This is someone's skeleton. If you look closely at the skull, you will notice an incision mark, and if you look carefully at the sternum, it's been dissected. This is a skeleton that has had an autopsy performed on it. Just a random cabinet with an ambulance decal and a skull. This is a medical device that the captions refer to as a quack medical device. It delivers electric shock to the human body. Okay, this looks like a crime victim reconstruction. It's a wax facial thing. I don't even know what this is. This seems innocuous enough, right? It's just dolls, except there are no other toys. Any indication of a young girl in this household ever. Just your standard issue box of teeth. This chair, which is basically a creepy-looking torture device. By the way, there are like 10 different variations of chairs that have no padding and would be excruciating to sit into. See the like sharp corner edges there where your butt would be, and that curve right there? That would put tremendous pressure on a person's coccyx, your tailbone, and would lead to tremendous pain if you sat in this for more than a very short period of time. Just a creepy painting of a weathered corpse-like face. This is a faceless painting of people. Now, an interesting thing, on first glance, you may be like, well, that's not that weird. How could that be a serial killer? Adolf Hitler applied to art school in Venice. Many people do not realize this. Before he was the leader of the Schmazis, he was an artist, and he submitted his drawings, and the reason that the committee rejected him is because his art was devoid of human life. Of the few humans he featured, they were faceless, and they were largely architectural drawings, beautiful, but lacked life, was what they said. Consider that when evaluating this painting. Random hands? Disembodied, amputated, wood hands? Weird masks and strange-looking faces? With some collectibles for children? Boy children. I think this pretty well speaks for itself. The skeletons with the emergency fire police, and I'm pretty sure that's a schmatzy helmet there. Yes, more glass skulls being used to display fire and emergency vehicle responder helmets. More ambulance, and I'm not really clear on what this bird-like mask and cape is. It reminds me of like a plague ear doctor, just without the much longer nose. It's just weird. Huh. I mean, could be religious iconography, I guess. More skulls being used to display police and military helmets. Yet more disembodied wooden hands, presumably for scale. This to me is reminiscent of a death mask, but it very much resembles a non-living person. when a person is deceased, their pupils become fully dilated, and this looks very much like a bronze death mask. Hmm. Yeah, this totally reminds me of, like, please help us identify this victim kind of thing. Here is a trunk in the exact dimensions of a coffin. Random weapons? The fixation with war continues, which is totally a genre of collectibles. More of like a taken with the whole picture that's being painted here. Lots and lots of holsters. So in these estate sales, many of them forbid the sale of firearms. So it's very likely that there are firearms to go along with this. They just can't be sold on this platform. This is a cavalry sword. It's not clear whether that's from the US. During wartime, there was a tendency of soldiers to take keepsakes from the battlefield or from the deceased, and this appears to be a trophy. Yes, the collection of glass skulls. Super creepy surgical equipment that appears well used. And this person, I don't think they were a doctor. So there you have it. That certainly paints a picture, does it not? The one thing that I couldn't screen capture, I accidentally navigated away, was this shadow puppet, this giant life-size shadow puppet of the god of death in Bali and Thai religion, which I was like, yikes, I had to Google it, which is how I ended up losing it. So that is not pictured, but there's a few other items I didn't screen grab, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I just stumbled onto a serial killer's estate sale in Ohio.